All right. Shalom, family. Shalom. I was trying to figure out how to do that background thing. That's why it's taking me a little while, but we're here now. Let's see. Oh, I can invite guests up now. All right. Bet. That's love. That's love. Matter of fact, I need to make some people moderators. Uh, let's see. Mm-mm. All right. Shalom. Yah shalom, Pastor Don. Yah shalom, way of purpose list. How's it going? Um, hmm. There we go. There we go. Boom. Got another one. Make some people moderators. Pastor Don, where'd you go? There you go. I'm learning this thing. I'm gonna get some music going in a second. Time be going by fast. I'm telling you. All right, Yashalan.T, big sis, how's it going? Um, Matter of fact, I might go ahead and invite people up right now. Pastor Don, if it's cool if I invite you up right now, just to get it out the way, so that way we can keep things going smoothly. Um, all right, cool. Boom. Let's see what happens. All right, we're in there. Okay, look at me learning. Bruder, I'm gonna add you up here too. Feel led if you want to say something. Or deny the invite. uh, let's see. Let's get some music going. As people come in, let's get it going. Because I'm starting my day now. Pray y'all had a great evening. Well, great rising so far. Mine just started, so I'm going to get some music going and get everything going. Yah shalom. Minister Shantae, how's it going? Let's see. Cool. All right. One thing y'all gonna learn about me is I love my boy Hezekiah. He be getting me going, man. All right, let's get it going. No, we're not. I thought we were. There we go. Yes, we are. All right. Yep. Yeah, shalom. Fancy seed planter. Let's see who else coming in here. Shalom. All right.
You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I made a promise, can't nobody take it. I chose to put you above all the nations. Out of your graves, I chose to awaken. We made a covenant, don't you forsake it. Come get protected while they going crazy. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. I woke you up in your land of captivity. I do not change, I want you to remember me. Laws and commandments, I gave you the remedy. Go read the testimonies for your memory. I sent them prophets, but you wasn't hearing me. I come to you if you really come near to me. I heard your cry, now it's time to take it to me. I know what got you from all of your enemies.
Big sis going on.
The waters are bitter, but I made it sweet. In case you ain't know how to swim.
What's going on, Brother Cole? What's going on? Shalom. Oh no, I forgot about that part of the song. Oh man. Let's go with the classic. Let's go with this classic. My bad, y'all. Oh man. Taught that one. All right.
We just wanna be free. I will show us your love.
Right? You see, it's it. I forgot all about that. I mean, my brain's getting it together.
We just wanna be free, 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 freedom come.
Yeah,
We just
facts,
wanna
facts.
be free,
It's a classic.
free, 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 freedom songs. We just wanna be free. So much violence, don't wanna watch the TV. I see my brother shot down, I see me. We just wanna be free. Love your neighbor as yourself and be
Alright.
free. Too much bloodshed, no it ain't
Let's see.
easy.
Brutal Cole,
We
you
just
know,
wanna
if
be
you're chilling, you're chilling. But
Lying
you know, if you want to come up, go ahead and request.
politicians
Whoever wants to come up, go ahead and
They gon'
request.
keep
You
on
know,
sneak, gon' keep on snooze.
Bruda, C Bruda,
The riches of this world don't
Akoti,
fit they loose.
brother, sister. You know,
Never sell your soul and
of
with
course,
that
it's centered around the brothers, so we get it going with the brothers first, and then we kind of circle around. But yeah, we fam. It's gonna be a great one. All right.
Freedom coming, promise to the stars. The world where
Yep.
boys at are.
Got you, Bruda. It's all right. Great to see you.
Free, freedom come. We just wanna be free, 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 freedom songs.
We just wanna be free. Oh, Father, where to play? And if y'all got any requests too, go ahead and throw that in there if y'all want to hear something. I'm gonna play like probably one more song. You know, as everybody comes in.
The world's so bad. Oh Father, please redeem us from these chains. Amen. La olam.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm glad I could add people today. I went on live. What happened was I went on live and I turned it off because I was trying to get this picture in the background right here. So when I did that, it let me add guests right after that. So praise Yah. The rock be moving in certain ways.
To our best ability, in spirit and virtue. Freedom.
Let's see. What are you playing next? Yeah, I'm not gonna repeat that. I think this one is okay. I think this one's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. We'll play this one.
Get out your country, until landed on my shoulder. Indeed, all nations gonna
Yah
be
Shalom,
blessed.
Barak Plain. Oh, that's Minister. What's going on, sis? Shalom, shalom.
This what I'm arranging. And my name gonna be forever there. If you obey, then you gon' stay, it's gonna be heaven there. The king coming from your bloodline gonna settle there together. All the tribes that been scattered over several years. Blow them trumpets in my holy mouth. The shepherd died for the sheep just to know he found them. No greater love. Pour the plug of wickedness, we found the greater plug. If it ain't front of vine, then it ain't mine. They say they know the Father with no fruit, then they lie. Disobedience, that's the reason why we die. Come back to the covenant, we at the end of time. Offer your life to the high priest. Don't wanna hear depart from me, I want an ID. Father the shepherd, get a new stone. Dwelling in his presence, bring them nukes on. Bring them nukes on. 144, gonna sing a new song.
Oh, okay. Yep, I'm gonna play this one last song, and then we're gonna get started. Was it 12, 13? Yeah. Go ahead, say what's up to everybody. Shalom, shalom. Abayaz Lily. What's going on, sis? Iron sharpens iron. Great to see you. Great to see you. Yep, that way.
Blow them trumpets, I our Messiah, get an introduction. Blow them trumpets, our Messiah, get an introduction. Blow them trumpets, our Messiah, get an introduction.
Let's see what that does.
Blow them trumpets, our Messiah, get an introduction.
All right. This last one, then we're going to get started. Let's see.
Is that when we do things,
In 3 minutes, we're going to get started. Gonna kind of get my thoughts together and things like that.
the more good and positive things that we do in this life, big on great.
Well, maybe one more song.
To the Father, it's, confessing our sins and repenting from our sins. And when we do a lot of these things, the Father's recording all of this stuff. Bless all the poor, bless all the meek. If you listen to the show,
We're going to start off. I'm going to bring out the question again that Bo's servant had last time about the red horse. So I'm going to start out in Zechariah chapter 1. Then I'm going to go to Joshua 9, and we're going to go to Matthew 16. So if you want to, we're going to center around Joshua 9. So if you want to go ahead and flip that, we're going to go to Zechariah 1. We're going to go to Joshua 9, and we're going to go to Matthew 16. Matter of fact, sis, let me,
Luke 19, verse 27, when he come, he coming in the power of his Father when he come. He coming in the power
make you a
of his Father.
moderator.
We can't run. We gon' be the light in this world full of darkness.
My moderator's in here.
They can't stop me. Addicted to this true straight crack. We gon' rock these laws on our conscience.
Yep. Appreciate you, sis.
We gon' glorify the Father. The devil making war with the saints get harder. He overcame the world. Give him praise, give him honor. They could kill his flesh, but his soul they can't bother. They go out the paint, try to do away with Torah. Ain't paying nothing to sing, y'all be all out of order. Recompense coming, y'all the Father gon' restore y'all. Isaiah 43 for his sons and his daughter. Romans chapter 7 verse 12 to these churches. If we break the laws, we gon' stay under these curses. Look up in your city, all the Israelites is certain. Don't know who we are, we gon' understand our purpose. Who gon' rise up, tell these people who they are? Who gon' tell these people they the children of y'all? Yeah, I am Father, I'll wait on your call. I'll say yeah, I'll say yeah. Yeah, yeah. To your will and to your way. I'll say yeah. Yeah, yeah. I will trust you and obey. When your spirit speak to me, when my
All right.
heart I'll agree, and my answer will be yeah, yeah. Somebody tell the Most High, yeah, say yeah. Somebody tell the Most High, yeah, say yeah. Hallelujah.
All right.
Somebody tell the Most High, yeah. Somebody tell the Most High,
All right. Shalom, fam. Let's get started. As in order, right? Today we're going to be talking about pace, right? We're going to be talking about pace. Let us start in with prayer. Abba Yah, we come before you today in unity, in love and peace, in progression and pace with the righteous order. We want to say to die for this Barak Yam that you have blessed us to see. A blessed time with Mayasha with family, with culture, with understanding, a standing that we're under, because you have given that to us through this scroll, through the scriptures. And as we dive in today, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight. Distraction free, and all praise, all honor to you. And as we continue through this lesson today, may be edifying, may be edifying. At Shem Yahava, at Shem Yahashvai, at Shem Ravaka Kodash, Aman, Aman, and Aman. All right. So, again, today we're going to talk about pace, right? So I'm gonna start out with like the introduction. So when we first started getting into this, right? I started talking about self-examination, and Ravak be moving. Y'all be sending Ravak to move, and I didn't even catch it until I started thinking about how this started, right? So I started with self-examination, right? Then I started talking about the ambush and the wilderness, right? Ambush in the wilderness, as wilderness should not be something that's really, don't be weary of it. Don't be dismayed, right? Remember that in Joshua? Don't be dismayed at the wilderness, because that's a place of rejoicing, refining. You're coming out anew. You're in the kaf. You're in the hands of the Most High, right? You're in a concealed position. It's a lurking place for the enemy, right? But you're still protected because you're coming out better as long as you have that intimate communion with the Most High, that personal connection, right? It's a refining place, refining to restoration, a place to find joy in again, aka rejoicing, right? So obey. Do not be dismayed. As long as you obey while you're in this ambush, while you're in this place of in the wilderness, as they say, or as the scripture says, just be obedient. You'll come out just fine. You got to be tried in order to come out as you should in righteous order, right? And then last Thursday we talked about the wall of protection, right? So now it's pace. So we went from self-examination to being in the wilderness, how we should hold ourselves, and then we started talking about the wall of protection, right? So let's go to Zechariah chapter 1, and we're gonna start out. I'm gonna start out with the question from last week, that bold servant had got with Dr. T and Minister Shante. Gave me some great scripture to go to the reference. So he asked a question about the red horse, right? Now, the red horse, it starts in Zechariah chapter 1, verse 8. And again, we want to have a metaphorical mindset, right? Because if you have the metaphorical mindset, you'll be able to understand the parables. You'll be able to understand the dreams and the prophecies and things of that nature. Zechariah, as we know, is a very prophetical work, right? So again, this is talking about the time of after captivity of being in Babylon after the 70 years from Jeremiah 29. Remember that? So it starts out in verse 8. He said, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse. So imagine a man upon a red horse. Now for TikTok purposes, I'm gonna need you to pick up what I'm putting down. I'm on. So the man on the red horse representing judgment, and judgment is coming against wickedness, right? So when judgment meet wickedness, there's something that is shed, right? So this is essentially the judgment coming upon, ready to protect us from the wickedness. Then it also says he stood among the myrtle trees. Now, myrtle trees are a place of divinity, a place of intimate intercession. It's a place of safety, right? Now, notice it says the myrtle trees were in the bottom. So we have myrtle trees that's in the bottom. So therefore, there must be myrtle trees of above. So we got above and we got bottom. So we got the heavens and we got Adat, another heaven, right? So we're talking about the myrtle trees that are in Arat, in the earth. Yashalam Koba, how's it going, bro? So the man upon the red horse is in the bottom, right, of the myrtle tree. So there's a divine place in the earth, in Arad. There's a place of the angels of the Most High waiting to cast judgment, waiting to defend us down here. But they're in a secret place, in a safe place, right? They're going to and fro, seeing what's going on. You see later on, it'll say that Arad is at rest. The earth is at rest. Therefore, it's resting in wickedness. They're saying, man, how long is it going to take? Like, hey, let us know when we can go. Like, let us off the leash. Like, let us know when we can go ahead and handle business. Many say the man upon the red horse, I was researching as well, they say that foreshadows the coming of the Messiah. But we could safely say that it's an angel of Yah, a messenger of Yah, that's down here upon the red horse, among the myrtle trees, among the divine place, that's able to communicate with the myrtle trees of above, right? Well, the above being the whole wholesome divine place, right? So, and he said, behind him there were red horses. Again, that's the judgment. Speckled, that's the acts of judgment, right? So we have it's basically like a mixture between peace, war, conflict, things of that nature, right? So that's what we have going on here. Speckled and white. So the white horse is representing victory, representing the end process. So we have the man on the red horse, which has the judgment. It has what happens with judgment meets wickedness, right? The man on the horse signifying the guaranteed victory, right? And then we have with him among the myrtle trees speckled, which is the in-between process of judgment, and then white, which is victory. So that's what we have going on here. And it says, then I said, oh my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. In verse 10, it says, and the man stood among the myrtle trees, answered and said, these are they whom Yahweh has sent to walk to and fro through Arad, through the earth, right? So again, these are the ones, these are the warriors, these are the angels of the Most High waiting to be sent among to go cast judgment and go basically prepare the place, prepare the soil for Yerushalayim. Amen. Let's see, we're not going to go all the way through this again, but let's see, it says verse 11, and they answered the angel or the messenger of Yahweh that stood among the myrtle trees and said, we have walked to and fro through Arad, through earth. And behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest, resting in wickedness. And the angel of Yahweh answered and said, O Yahweh of hosts, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Yerushalayim? Basically, how long is it going to take for us? Shalom, Auntie Michelle, how's it going? How long will it take for you to let us go, let us off the leash, right? For lack of better words. And it continues to say, and on the cities of Yehovah or Judah, against which thou hast had indignation these 70 years. Again, the 70 years indignation, which is captivity or judgment upon us for these 70 years of being captured in Babylonian ways, right? Which has always been a problem with us for all these past in our history, past years. Verse 13, and Yahweh answered the angel or the messenger and talked with me with tabah words, with good words and comfortable words, which is comforting words. So basically Yahweh says, all right, now it is time for me to let y'all go, do y'all thing. And that's essentially the red horse, parable, right? Making sure we great on that. We good on to buy on that. We locked in on that. Making sure we got that before we keep going for the lesson for today. Amen. So we great. I'm gonna take that as a yes. All right, bet. Appreciate you, brother. All right, so back to the lesson for today. Now let's go to Joshua chapter 9. And I'm gonna kind of break down again what the lesson for today is gonna be. It's be about pace. All right. Put that away because that was last week. Boom. All right. So back to the temple, or the dwelling place, right? So last week again we talked about the dwelling place, of the temple. They were waiting to build the temple. We talked about the temple first, because the soil and foundation. Okay, so let's put on the metaphorical mindset still. Let's keep that on for the whole session today. Um, so they built it. We talked about the temple being built first. We talked about the soil needed to be righteous. How we needed to tend to our soil, right? We need to tend to our soil so that way the temple can be placed and built upon that, which is the dwelling place of the Most High. The dwelling place of the Most High automatically having that refining wall of fire, protection of the dwelling place, the judgment, and we are to be the extension of that, right? The coverage of that from the wall of fire, the representation of that, right? We're supposed to be carrying the works of the Most High. Okay. So with that being said, that's why we talked about the temple first. And many may say that it might seem backwards, right? But it's not so. If you research biblical times, it was usually the temple that was built first before the walls, because it was a sense of first restoring a safe place, restoring a way of worship. Because remember, we're going to bring in the whole scroll because Yahweh is the same yesterday, today, and always, right? So bringing in Solomon. Remember, Solomon built the temple on the mount and extended the walls of the city around that. But the temple was built first, right? It was often seen as a step in restoring a city by building the temple first and returning the people to a state of favor with Yah. Building the temple first provides a safe place for the temple and its protection. And now by law, therefore, we are to be the extension. So when we're able to build a safe place, when we're able to talking about our own soul salvation, when we're able to work our own salvation and get the soil right and get accepted so that Yah may dwell with us, therefore protecting us with that refining wall of fire, not letting anything enter in, as long as we maintain righteousness. Shalom, Mama Mavis, how's it going? As long as we maintain righteousness, right? And then we're able to go out righteously as the extension, right? Or the Yahweh or Yavad, right? Of Yahweh, out of the hand of the Most High. And real quick side note, I know dialect, it may be different. So I'm going to explain why I was taught to use this dialect. It's because, and again, I don't judge, as long as we understand the character of it. We fam. Many use a U, some use a W, but the V came first before both of those, so I say va, right? So instead of Yahweh, I would say Yavad. Instead of none, I would say Navan, right? Just letting y'all know, so it's interchangeable, right? Be that as it may, I go like the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Paleo, then there's modern Hebrew. As long as you understand and get the interpretation of the word, that's what's most important. So just throwing that out there, why I use that, right? So back to the lesson. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to be the extension of the hand of the Most High, right? So today I'm going to start with Joshua 9. Tomorrow, actually, Pastor Don is going to be on here doing his thing, or on Clapper, one of the two. But he's gonna anchor it home with this. So I'm just going to kind of set it up, right? So how we should be by being the extension, by being led out of the hand of the Most High, by the hand of the Most High, right? We should be in grace or Gahan, right? Okay, he'll be on Dr. T's platform. So tomorrow he'll be on Dr. T's platform. Today, sis. We should be in Gahan. That's Gaimal, Che, Navan, or none, right? And that's the Hebrew word or Paleo Hebrew word for grace, which is Gaimal, humility, Che, Ravak HaKodash, and Navan, which is maturity or protection, and encompasses grace, right? So now let's go to Joshua 9. We're going to read this. We're going to walk through a little bit, and we're going to kind of see what's going on here, because pace is important. Joshua had a problem here that he didn't pace himself righteously for order to be righteous, right? So he kind of jumped to the end of things and not really going in proper order, because going in proper order is going to set ourselves up for success in the walk, right? It's very important to seek Yah first. It's a thing that we know, right? We know that, but Oftentimes we can move a little fast. I do that sometimes too. Still to this day, I might have to pause. And I was having a conversation last night and realizing things, and I was like, man, I didn't even think about all this. I didn't even notice all this. But sometimes, it just takes a second to sit back and just talk to the Most High. Whatever you may call him, right? Yahweh is his name, but talk to the Most High, right? Just ask for Ravak to be sent to you, so that way you're able to understand the meaning of things going on. So that way you're able to move properly, right? So we're gonna read chapter 9. I'm not gonna go all the way through it. I'm gonna get to about verse 14, and I'm gonna summarize the rest of it from there. But we're gonna go to Joshua chapter 9, and we're gonna start at verse 1. Hey, Shalom, bold servant, how's it going? Let's see. So Joshua chapter 9, we're going to start in verse 1. It says, and it came to pass when all the kings which were on this side of Jordan, right? Because we're just getting through crossing the Jordan, Rahab, Jericho, Achan, the battle of Ai. We just finished that, and now we're continuing through after the sacrifice was made between the mounts, right? So this is where we are now. And it came to pass when all the kings that were on this side of Jordan and in the hills and in the valleys and in all the coasts of the great sea over against Lebanon, the Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite heard thereof. So they heard that Joshua was coming through. Joshua walked heavy. Joshua was the same one that saw the angel or the messenger of the Most High. It was like, hey, who you be, man? Like, what's going on? And the angel said, whoa, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Joshua was about that, right? We're going to go to verse 2. They heard thereof, right? That they gathered themselves together. So therefore they got together to fight with Joshua and with Israel, with one accord. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and to Ai, they did work willily. So not willingly, it is willily. Willily, right? So willily is a deceitful work. So they heard what was going on. They got together and automatically went to a deceitful work, right? To try to basically cover face, right? To try to make it seem like they were somebody that they weren't, right? This is when it's very important to pace yourself in order, so that way, if you seek Yah first, you're able to see through these things, right? So let's keep going. Verse 4, and they went and made as if they had been ambassadors, right? Ambassadors being, many times they called us back in the day ambassadors, as we went and spread the word of the Most High. Many times we went through, and we didn't carry much, right? Many might say we carried our home on our back. We wore one tunic, we had shoes, we had essentials, but we didn't need much. So they made themselves look like some things, right, that they weren't. Let's keep going. And took old sacks upon their donkeys, right? Donkeys representing humility. Remember, the donkey was the same one that stopped Balaam from trying to come against our people. The donkey was the same one Yehoshua the Messiah rode upon. Things of that nature. You're good, bro. You're good. You're great. Continuing on, in wine bottles, old and rent and bound up. So as I'm reading, I'm noticing that the way they try to represent themselves at that point, physically, represented what they were, how they were spiritually. Old wineskins, right? Requesting new wine, right? Basically help, new way of purpose, right? Let's keep going. Old and rent and bound up, verse 5, and old shoes and clouded up on their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. Noticing the dry and moldy part stood out, like it's an infestation going on, right? No anointing, very dry spiritually. It's giving me the metaphorical mindset of seeing there's always something behind adore, right? Let's keep going. Verse 6, and they went to Joshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him, and to the men of Israel, or Yahashrael, we be come from a far country. Now therefore make ye a league or a trust with us, right? Exactly, wormwood. Verse 7, and the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, peradventure, or perhaps, right? Yeah, dry and moldy. He said, perhaps, peradventure, ye dwell among us, right? So say we do let you come with us. Say we do let you, come over here and chill with the boys, right? Chill with the fam. How shall we make a league with you, right? How should we go about this? Why should we do this? Verse 8, and they said unto Joshua, we are thy servants. Basically, all right, we will serve you. Like that's what we'll do. We'll listen to you. We'll be about your ways. We'll say that you're Yahweh Elohim, or the Most High, in the righteous direction is the way we're going to follow now. And Joshua said unto them, who are ye? And from whence come ye? Like, basically, who you are, where you from. Who you be, where you from. Let me get some background information on you first, right? You started out righteous, okay? Let's keep going. And they said unto him, from a very far country is where they're from. Thy servants are come because of the name of Yahweh thy Elohim, for we have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Kemet. It says Egypt, but the original was Kemet, right? We're gonna salvage these. We're gonna go back to the original intent. Amen. Verse 10, and all that he did to the two kings. We have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Kemet with Moses or Moshe, and all that he did with the two kings of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, right past Jordan, to Sihon, king of Heshbon, and to Og, king of Bashan, which was at Ashtaroth, right? Verse 11, we are elders, wherefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spake to us, saying, take victuals or foods, basically offering, basically like a gift, right? With you for the journey, and go with you and go to meet them, and say unto them, we are your servants, therefore now make ye a league or a trust or a bond or a contract with us. Verse 12, this is our bread, we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we came forth to go unto you, but now behold, it is dry and it is moldy. Basically like, yo, look, see, we had the bread from where we came from, right? It's dry and moldy, so that should tell you how far we came. See, we're dressed like this, we're acting like this, we look the part, right? You get it? Let's see, verse 13. And these bottles of wine which were filled were new, and behold, they be rent. Right? And these are garments, and our shoes are become old by reason of the very long journey. Verse 14. And the men, talking about Israel, and the men took up their victuals and asked not counsel at the mouth of Yahweh. That's where they messed up. They said, okay, it seems like you played your part. It seems like everything's correct. Let's go ahead and take this from these people, do our thing. They didn't seek the Most High at all. That's when the order is messed up. And that's when they start inviting things. Remember, we're talking about the wall of protection. That's when things come in that are not supposed to be there, right? Verse 15, and Joshua made peace with them and made a league with them and let them live. It just let them on in, just let anything in, right? Then it searched because Yahweh is the refining wall of fire. So therefore, you got to test the fire. You got to be tested in the fire to see if you can hang with us, right? You got to be able to be about that life in order to hang with us, right? Shalom, Sister Deborah, how's it going? Verse 16, and it came to pass at the end of 3 days, they had made a league with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors and that they dwelt among them. So after 3 days, they got to the point where they were like, yo, they got to like 3 days journey, and notice these people that they brought in were right at home. So now they went into their territory. So now they're over here in a place all willy-nilly, like all caught up in things, all exposed. And the children of Israel journeyed and came into their cities on the 3rd day, right? Now their cities were Gibeon, the Gibeonites, right? And Hephorah and Beroth and Kiryah Yerim, right? Something like that. Verse 18, and the children of Israel smote them not. They said, man, we can't even do anything because we gave Yah our word. We let them in. Our word is our bond. Now we noticing that these people pulled the wool over our eyes, and now we had to be dwelling among them, right? Because it says, and the children of Israel smote them not, because the princes of the congregation had sworn unto them by Yahweh Elohim of Israel, of Yahashrael. And the congregation murmured against the princes. Basically, they complained against them, like, yo, that's crazy work that you just did that. But that's what happens when you don't consult Yah first. You won't be able to see everything. Faith is necessary, but it's faith and works in the due process. That's order. You got to pace yourself in order, so that way everything is together. Everything is tabah. Amen. Let's see. We're gonna read a couple more verses. Verse 19, and the princes said unto all the congregation, we have sworn unto them by Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, of Yahashrael. Now therefore we may not touch them. Princes said the same thing. So I give them that. They took the word of the Most High for certain, but they were more like the people that came out of Kemet with us the first time. Because remember, people came out with us in Kemet, but not everybody was about that life. Not everybody was really about the word of the Most High. Everybody saw a way out, right? They saw a way out of trying to get out of there. They're like, yo, yeah, let's do it. But then when it came to really being about that life, remember, there was a lot of cutting off. There was a lot of circumcision involved before they got to the Jordan, before they got to the intimate circumcision for the people that was really about it, right? So that's why I went from Moses to Joshua, and Joshua being the high priest at this point. Amen. Let's see where we at. Verse 20. Everybody not about that life. Come on now. Y'all shalom, big brother Darius. Great to see you. Verse 20. This we will do to them. This is the princess saying this. This we will do to them. We will even let them live, because now they're in their own territory, right? So now they got the upper hand. Technically, they could have tried to do some damage, right? Faith is the soil, works are the seed, vine is shachet, fruit of the spirit, Yah is the only way. Aman, come on now. And now they're in their territory. So the princes say, all right, we're not going to touch them. We can't touch them. All right. The people of Israel said, we're not going to touch them. We can't touch them. But yet they are in a place, right? They're in a place where technically the Gibeonites now have the upper hand. They're in their territory. They're, pretty much surrounded with the other cities, right? But, Yahweh could easily have his way. But, the people of Israel know that they messed up, and must hold law. They gave their word. Word is bond, right? I'm going to kind of summarize the rest of it from here. The princes of the Gibeonites, right? They basically made our people be hewers of wood and drawers of water. Basically, it's representing a very low job, right? The bottom of the barrel job, like the most strenuous, the most physical job they made us do, right? Joshua came through, said, whoa, what's going on here? Figured out everything, explained everything. Roles get flipped. It's like, nah, through Yahweh Elohim, you would be the one to do that now, because that's how you treated us. But first, where he messed up was that he didn't pace himself in order. Pacing yourself in order is very, very important, right? Now, I'm not going to go here yet, but I'm going to go ahead and flip to Matthew 16. As we incorporate more of the word, put a pin in that. Matthew 16, we'll get there in a bit, right? Is that? Yeah, Matthew 16, yep. And we'll take a salam moment real quick. But we still tracking, we still together. That's one thing that Ravak has been settling in with me, is pace. Skipping steps can cause you to stumble that way. Ravak has been sending me with pace this week, and last week. And the pace is very, very important, because, even being around here, even when we talk, people in the South, how we could get to talking and our accent comes in, and next thing you know, all the words run together. I had to remember that not everybody is from the South. Like if I talk like that out here, they'll be right with me, right? But there's pace, there's order in getting things out, right? A perfect work. I'm on, perfect timing. All right, so back to the temple. We're gonna set back up. See me. All right, so back to the temple, okay? So remember, we went through the soil. We went through the soil and how to basically germinate, work it, excavate, get everything right so that the temple can be on top of that. Yeah, I know the hey, I know the Christians know what I'm talking about. And we got the soil right so that the temple, the dwelling place could be amongst us. That comes with the wall of protection, right? That the refining fire wall of protection. So that way we are able to see that and be the extension or led by the hand of the Most High Yah through yep, that way through law and pace, right? Because we're going to seek Yah first. We're going to get everything in order, and then we're going to proceed, right? Um, so now imagine with me now again that we're at the foundational work again, right? So now that we're the extension led by the hand of the Most High, we are the representation of the refining wall of fire here in Arat, here in earth, right? Um, So now with that being said, right, we had the temple, we have the foundation, we have the refining wall. Now we're working on building our wall. Now we're working on going where we go, establishing the temples, establishing the dwelling place righteously. Shalom, Big Buddha Rich. How's it going, brother? Establishing everything righteously wherever we go, wherever we tread, as the enemy goes to and fro, seeking whom they may desire. We, the righteous ones, are going to and fro, seeking who we may bring to kingdom. Amen. Um. So now, say we're leaving from led by the hand of the Most High to establish grounds, to establish Tabah, righteous work. Yep. Domain expansion. There you go. The wise domain, the wisdom. Amen. Um. I could tell you be studying too. Now we're amongst like a pile of stones, right? Now we're standing amongst a pile of rocks and stones, right? In community, or as we're building the wall, we need to know who it is beside you that's helping you build the wall, right? Metaphorically speaking, right? Now we're going to settle in right there. When you have people there helping you do the work of the Most High, you don't want people that are going to not accurately place in a stone, right, in a wall. Those might put in mud where a stone is supposed to be for a quick patch, right? Not doing the tabah work, not going in order, not having pace. So they hey, it starts with listening. Be quick to hear, then you're on the right track. I'm telling you. But some might put in, like, you're building a wall. Some might see a hole in the wall and say, instead of picking up this stone, it seems kind of heavy. Instead of picking up this rock, it seems kind of heavy. Let me just get some mud, just pat it on in there, smack it on in there. Yeah, filling in the cracks. Remember Nehemiah, repairing the wall. Some might pick up some mud and throw it in there and hope over time. Yes, mud eventually, the elements of that can turn to rock. Right? There is a process to that. But while you're trying to build the foundation work, you don't want to just slap in extra mud, right? The builders of the wall, the people that you're building with, you should have history with them. People in biblical times, the wall builders, they had history with each other. These were wall builders. They had trust. They've repaired walls after battles. They've seen that the others can be trusted to repair the wall again, right? Walls establish identity and community. What can come into community, what should be not held in the community, how we identify, how we should not identify, who is Yahweh, who is enemy, right? Let's see. Yeah, we want to establish identity and community, right? Now think about what should be considered and what should be involved in community and how our identity should be, right? Taking time to establish relationships. Exactly. You already see where I'm going. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there in a second. See Ravak moving already. Think about what your identity is. How should you identify? Think about what should be in the community. What are the qualities of community, right? That's how trust is built. Aman, pace, that way. Yeah, just think about that. You could throw it in the chat if you want to, or just keep it in mind. Like, what do you allow in your home? What should you keep outside? Oftentimes, like my mom, when I used to, boundaries don't just block, they open. Exactly, like Kofi said. Openness, honesty, definitely important. Being able to talk to people, being able to be yourself, being able to say, okay, I'm not perfect, we're not perfect. Let's work on the perfect work. On. Um, and like my mom used to be, she used to say, you had your shoes outside, take your shoes out take your shoes off at the door, right? And don't track no dirt in here. Wipe the dust off your feet. Yeah, modesty. Shoes outside that way. Like you don't track that in here. We don't allow that in here, right? Also, my mom's house, I came up Southern Baptist, right? Well, Baptist, but you get in there, it was very Southern Baptist. But um, my mom didn't allow no cursing in the house. Like I couldn't even say the word lie. I had to say fib. Like I couldn't even throw that out there. Um, even beatboxing. Like I used to beatbox with my boys at school, but I get home and I start beatboxing. I start beating on the wall and stuff like that. My mama don't play none of that music. So she'll say, no, don't, just stop. And I'll be like, yo, I thought it was okay. I'm just making some beatbox and I'm just beating on the wall, but it represented secular things. It represented the enemy. It gave her a remembrance of things that should not be remembered in the house, right? So think about, as you go through this week, as we talk about working on our own soul salvation, think about what you should cut off. Think about refining the flesh daily, right? We'll say that for TikTok purposes. Think about what is holding you back. Think about what is supposed to push you forward, right? There's a lot of things you should, yes, that way. Still don't say it. But think about what you should be doing in your daily walk, because daily we had to go we had to go against the flesh, because the flesh is our battle now. Our battle now is to deal with the flesh daily. Daily we had to go like, all right, every rise when I wake up, I ask y'all to take away things that are not supposed to be there and allow things in that are supposed to come in, right? There's a lot of things that you have to consider. My thinking process. I'll be at the tour sometimes, and my people that tour, we know where I'm going. Yes, every single day. Sometimes at the tour, things will happen, and my patience. Yeah, you need a filter. Yep. Yeah, you need a filter. Imagine a filter, metaphorical. See, told you. Um, like at the tour, I'll be quick. Sometimes my patience will be very short, and somebody will come to me and like, I'm the type that I'm working on this, right? I'm working on this, but my facial expressions oftentimes will give what I'm thinking, right? I won't say anything, but my facial expressions can express some things sometimes. I'm working on it. I'm still working on it. I'm working on catching that first, because I'll be wondering why people look at me funny. It's because the answer in my mind is showing on my face. And that's why they're looking at me funny. I'm like, okay, all right, I got to work on that. Then I have to go back. I'll literally go back, and they might see like, oh, he be acting funny. But no, I'm trying to fix the way I was acting before. Let's bring it all in. Yeah, can't hide how I feel. It's right there. But I got to work on that. I got to be more verbal. I had to learn how to express things in a righteous way, saying, okay, right now it's a little bit too much for me. Give me some time to wind down. I'm coming from outside. I just got the tour. Give me a few minutes, and then come with me with questions, because they're coming. Yeah, that poker face is crazy at work, because like when I come into work, when I come into toil, right? Um, they ask me questions. A lot of people come to me and ask me questions. They can see that I'm on a different mission when I walk into the tour. I go in there with my scrolls in my bag. I go in there with my notebook. Oftentimes when they come to the guard shack, they'll see me reading them. They'll say, "Oh, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but da 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 da." They'll ask me questions. I'm able to witness to a lot. Matter of fact, I think one of the brothers is on here watching now, or if not, he'll watch later. But and I take that to heart, and I'm appreciative of that, and I can't push people away just because my patience is where it needs to be all the time, right? I'm working on that. I'm on. Yeah, wear my heart on my wrist, yeah. And oftentimes like that, I'll get struck by something and be, Minister Stephen didn't used to be Minister Stephen. Before I was teaching like this, I used to be teaching something else. Instead of fishing for men in the righteous way, I used to try to recruit men for the wrong things, right? And I had to repent of that. I had to turn away from that. But there's a lot of things that come with that that has me realizing that I've always been in a leadership role. I've always been called to be a leader in some way. It wasn't a righteous leader, but I was still called to be a leader, and I had to take that very seriously, very very seriously, because that you could have things on your hand in the day of judgment that you don't really want there, right? You still had to atone for things. There's still things that I did, nothing too crazy, nothing too crazy, promise you, but we all have sins that we're going to have to atone for. That's why as I walk forward, I go with righteous pace and righteous order, right? Yeah, we all took on a new identity. Come on now, like let's start there, right? Um, just like we were talking about last week, we built our own wall of unrighteousness, and Yahweh came in and knocked it down. Took it apart, every stone by stone, every brick by brick, every stick, every bit of mud that we put in there. He took it all away, right, and had us rebuild again righteously. Amen. Now, going back to the builders of the wall, right? They had history, they had trust, they had repaired after battles. They seen who could be trusted to repair what, where on the wall again. Walls establish identity, community, and sometimes in the process, you got to let your heart break. You got to shed some tears, but always remember to work the end while you're in the moment, right? Keep your eye on the top. You keep your eye on the mark while you're working the in between, right? This is a foregoing, constant, forward-moving, progressive walk. Do we get knocked back sometimes, right? But yes, but every time we get knocked back down, we get knocked back a few steps, we get up, we turn around, there's mercy to bring us back in. Amen. Yeah, sometimes it takes that. But while you're working the end, while in the moment, right? I had to learn that everyone is where they're at on the path, some further ahead, some behind. Exactly. You got to meet them where they are. A lot of times, in disagreements, where we get to their break us down so you can build us up to have his perfect work. Amen. Yeah, a lot of times, when we meet somebody, we had to meet them where they are, right? We had to meet them where they are. When they offend us, or when they come, not even offend, like we don't want to be offended, right? But when we see where they are and see how they come to us, we have to then break down and know where they're coming from, right? We have to know, stop hiding behind the wall that we put up. Come on now. Praise Yah. Don't hide behind that wall. It's key. We had to know, because we had to realize that we were once there too. Imagine if that person saw us where we were and said, nah, I can't fade it, bro. I'm moving this way. You can keep on going that way. I don't have time for that, right? But we had to, that's a work, because remember, the Messiah, Yahashua HaMashiach, he met us where we were oftentimes, right? He met people where they were, in a calming way, in a very calming, constructive, firm way, right? But we had to recognize those who we are working with, right? We had to get close with them. We had to search for resources together, aka study the scripture, try the spirit by the spirit, right? That brings the bond, right? What's going on? Oh, this puzzle thing. Hold on one sec. I thought they were about to take me down. Like, no, I didn't say nothing crazy. All right. Yep. All right, bet. You had to also, while you bond, you also had to see them in disagreement, right? A great practice is to, I was taught a long time ago by somebody, from my past life, but it was a lesson that I took with me. I love everybody, right? But it only goes so far. Like, let's be real. Let's keep it real. We're gonna keep it real here. I don't let people get but so close. This oftentimes could be misconstrued because it might seem like that. But I love everybody. But if I haven't had a disagreement with you, if we haven't had some type of opposition to us in our relationship, if we haven't had a place where we recognize, okay, we come from different sides, or okay, we've had a disagreement. Yes, it can only go but so far. I can't see how you really are, right? I can't see how you're going to take that disagreement. I can't see if you're going to come back and say, all right, this is where we are. We could either agree to disagree, or we could keep moving forward. But I had to see if you're going to run my name through the mud. I had to see if you're gonna allow me back in to talk to you. I had to see if you're gonna let me be in a relationship with you. Like, all right, we might can agree to disagree. You might have to be here, and I might have to be here. But let's keep working this work and this walk together. I had to see that. So if I haven't had disagreement with you, or I haven't had some type of place where, all right, you see me moving like this, you don't get why, but you're not gonna drag my name through the mud. You're gonna see where it is I'm going to, right? A lot of times I might seem out of order, but trust me, things are in order. We just move different, right? Trying to spare by Ravak, right? Are you going to walk the walk together or not, right? You got to know, because that walk is what keeps us together, right? Facts, 3 days, 3 weeks, in 3 months, people reveal themselves and you decide if you want that. Okay, all right, lock that in. Exactly. There's a process to it. You got to, it's a part. Like, let's not act like there's no disagreement ever that's going to happen. Like, let's be honest, let's be real. There has to be disagreement at some point. We're not all made the same. Literally not all made the same. There's not more than one of you, but we are all made of the creation of Yah, right? We are all made in his image. We are all made originally in perfection, right? So make sure, that's just my advice for you for the road. Just like when you're working on marriage or something like that, you don't come in saying, oh, I wholeheartedly, full-fledged, head over heels in love. There's a process to it. If you love too quickly, you end up hurting yourself, right? If you bring people in too quickly, you don't see the part that if y'all haven't had a disagreement, but yet I'm hugging you tight, I'm holding you close. Yeah, you could pinch me, you could bite me, you could poke me. Like, there's a lot of things that can happen because you're too close, and I haven't seen you in battle. I haven't seen you in disagreement. I haven't seen you walk enough yet, right? So always remember, don't be so quick, right? Exactly. Don't be so quick to love so much so quick, because you're going to hurt yourself. And when that disagreement comes up, it's going to hurt worse. Like, I move forward. It might seem quickly, but that's because I see the end and I work the end in the moment. So I see that there's going to be a disagreement. So my mental is already at the place where, all right, we're going to have to work through this. So when that disagreement comes up, I'm able to handle it better because I expected that disagreement. I expected that to happen. So you expect the unexpected, but really you expect it, so it's not unexpected. You picking up what I'm putting down? I'm on. So yeah, don't go in too quick. Don't go in too hastily, right? You have to tarry, and there's haste, right? But hasten and then there's tarrying. But you have to. There's a work. There's an order, right? You have to expect disagreements. Come on now. Love and like both have 4 letters. Oh, come on now. I like that. I love that. Place your heart posture is shattered into pieces. Yep. Plus your heart posture is shattered into pieces. That's right. You got to know you before you can introduce you to others. Come on now. Come on now. Be it quick to hear, slow to speak. That takes a lot. That's essentially what that's talking about. Like, don't just go in just speaking for somebody. You know, speak for the hope. Yeah. But you can't speak for the person because you don't know that person yet. You haven't seen them in the heat. They haven't been tested in the fire. Like, I need to know that my brother and my sister have my back. Like, I had to see that when we're in war. I don't have to worry about you stabbing me in the back because I ran past you a little faster. Because you're going to run past me too. It's okay. But I need you to not take it no type of way. Right? Because there's always more that meets the eye. Right? So think about this. As we're all in this live, right? As we're all here and focusing on this live, we're all here, we're all fellowshipping, right? This is how minute we see things, right? Because Yah has a Yah's eye view. He sees way more than what we see, right? So we're all in this live, right? And notice that everything in this world outside is still going according to Yah's word. That's how small we see things. Right? That's how we are compared to a Yah's eye view. There's everything going on in the world, and we're here fellowshipping in the righteous place, right? But there's so much going on around in the world that Yah has in control, right? That's how small we see things. There's a very way larger picture. You have to operate in discernment to see how they are moving. Exactly. Pace is discernment. Discernment is pace. Come on now. Just realize that. That's how small we see things. And it's okay. That's how small I see things, right? There's always a bigger work. There's always a larger work to things, right? Um, yeah, Yazavu, that's really what it is. Like realize that. Like we're here, we're fellowshipping, we're loving, but there's millions and trillions of whatever people, animals, places, other places, right? Not and it's all controlled by Yah. But yet we're focused here, which is righteous. Not saying nothing is wrong with this, but that's just the way that you could see that viewpoint, right? Not everyone is there. Exactly. God realized that everybody's going on their own pace in their own ways, trying to get to this place of the that we're setting up, the righteous temple, the dwelling place, right? Yah's view is wait and be still. Exactly. Let everything move how they are. Like the birds still wake up and do the bird thing. They don't know what else to do, but they know to wake up and chirp. They know to wake up and eat. They know to wake up and feed. They know to wake up and till the ground in many ways, right? Because every time they dig in for that worm, they're making a hole for the water to go in and seep in through. That's how everything works, right? That's what Yah has, right? In his hands, in his cough, right? Yeah, therefore, in that pile of stone, right, or rock, you had to pick up every one and examine it, right? I'm going to bring in Simon, right? Yehoshaphat called Simon Peter, right? As the rock, right? You had to see if it's usable. You had to see if it's stable. You had to see if it has unwavering qualities and attributes before you put it into the wall, right? Try the spirit. Wait to see what comes up in the person so you can see how to be there for them, right? Just like a stone, this is what I'm going to use, like the cornerstone in the scripture, right? This is what I'm going to metaphorically use, okay? Metaphorical mind state, right? Keep that in mind. Some stones need to be passed down to the next, right? Imagine the assembly line of building the wall. There's all parts of the wall. Pick up a stone, observe it, check it out. Okay, well, I can't use this on this wall, this part of the wall. Let me pass it down. Somebody else could use that on the other part of the wall, right? Get what I'm saying? Some need further examination. Some need more leadership involved, right? Some stones are brittle. Some need to be put at the top. Process to the progress. We all process differently. However, Yah stays the same. Come on now, work Yah's process. That part. Yeah, some stones need to be passed down the line, right? Some need to be used at the top of the wall. Some being put at the bottom, right? The ones at the bottom are able to withstand more pressure. The ones at the bottom is not a bottom dweller, but they're able to hold up more, right? The ones at the bottom have been through some things. The ones at the bottom could take some blows and know that it's still going to stand there because the foundation is sturdy, right? They're able to withstand more pressure. But the ones at the top, they're a little brittle, right? But as rocks, the sediments in the rocks over time harden and become rock, right? They're compacted with overlying sediments. They might be brittle right now, but if you place those rocks at the top, sometimes those rocks need to be held up a little bit, right? Simba, No, but for real, sometimes those rocks got to be held up, right? By the ones at the bottom, because we see what they've been through. Like, yeah, we've been through that. By holding them more at the top, though, they're able to get more reaction of the elements, right? They're able to get more wind, rain, sun, everything like that, and eventually turn it into the stone that they need to be held up in place as their brothers and sisters hold them together, right? They just needed more attention first. That's all that is. They needed more exposure, exactly. They needed a little more push, right? They just needed more attention first. Mud and miry clay over time turned to rock. Maybe it's just not time yet. Just might take a little bit longer. Remember Simon, right? Simon reminds me a lot about me. We'll get there in a little bit, right? We're making great time. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're making great time. With the stone, right? But you got to conversate with the stone. Stone representing the person, right? But not in a malicious way. We all are part of this wall. We all are the extension, right? But you got to conversate with the stone. You got to appraise the stone. You got to weigh out the stone in trial. Stones teach us about permanence. That's what they represent, right? Exactly. We motivate each other day by day. Speak to the mountain. Come on now. Stones teach us about permanence, right? The lasting qualities. The qualities that are continuous, that are steadfast, right? Now we're going to tie in the word of Simon, right? Simon Bar Jonah. Simon, son of Jonah, right? The rock that Yehoshaphat said that he made part of the assembly to be built on, right? The one that Yehoshaphat seen in the place that said, all right, this rock is going to be great in this wall, but it just needs some more exposure first, right? So let's go to Matthew 16. We're going to read verse 15, and we're going to go down to 19. Yeah, let's try that. This is the part when Yehoshaphat is talking to Simon Peter, right? When he asks, who do men say that I am? Right? This is that part. I'm on. Take a salam moment. Pour some more water in here before we get to reading. And we're just about done. At the end of this, I'm gonna invite people up. Whoever wants to come up, we want to talk about it some more. But we're gonna talk about but we're gonna get into Matthew 16, 15 through 19. All right. Verse 15. That's Kofi. Yep. Yep, that and the Sermon on the Mount. Right? That's Kofi's favorite part. All right, we still tracking, we still together, right? Making sure. I'm on, sis. I'm on. That's it. Chapter 16, verse 15, right? He said unto them, but who say ye that I am? Talking to Simon, right? Simon Peter, right? He said, all right, you told me who men say that I am, but who do you say that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Christ. Thou art Yehoshaphat HaMashiach. Yehoshaphat our Messiah, right? The son of the living Elohim. Verse 17, and Yehoshaphat answered and said unto him, blessed. I was given, the message on the seven last words message, and I was talking about the verilies, right? See, the verily, I'm gonna get back to here. The verily is an adverb, right? The verily describes, and it's an affirmation of truth. Verily describes a thought, the thought being the first word, Barashat, right? The first word of the scroll, Barashat, it talking about the Messiah coming and being the one to redeem us, right? So therefore, when Yehoshaphat was speaking those verilies to the person, he changed the definition of truth. He is truth. He is the word. So when he spoke those verilies, he's saying, these are the facts. These are the facts that I tell you that you can go with right here, right? But now let's get back to verse 17. And Yehoshaphat said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar Jonah, Simon son of Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father, my Abba, which is in Shamayim, which is in heaven. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter. Amen. And upon this rock I will build my assembly, right? That wall. And the gates of Shaul shall not prevail against it. To stand no chance. No matter the blow, this rock and this wall will hold firm, right? And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of Shamayim. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in Shamayim. Whatever is bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt loose in earth shall be loosed in heaven. That's a lot of responsibility. But Yehoshaphat saw that now he is ready. Yehoshaphat saw that now he is in a position. He just saw that that stone needed a little bit more, or the rock needed a little bit more time, just a little bit more exposure. Right? Now, Joshua represented faithfulness, obedience, and leadership. Right? Yeah, trust is an issue. Exactly. It takes some time, right? And also Simon has disagreements, right? So faithfulness, obedience, and leadership, that's Joshua. And obedience to the witness of the ministry and teachings, that's Simon Bar Jonah, Peter, Simon Peter. He was obedient to what he saw. He was obedient because he saw that Yehoshaphat didn't really give up on him. He saw that Yehoshaphat took time with him, sat with him, conversated with him in appraisal, right? Yehoshaphat saw him in disagreement, right? But this is why. Remember, Simon Bar Jonah, right? But Simon back then, right? He was impulsive, right? Outspoken at times, but as impulsive as he was he loyal? He was outspoken, but yet he struggled with doubt and fear, right? Obedience allows the work to be done so that trust can be built. Exactly. Yeah, broke bread with them. Exactly. Now remember, Simon came up being a fisherman growing up, right? Now in biblical times it was different. Biblical times, being a fisherman, I was talking about fishermen, right? I used to fish, but in the wrong ways, right? And I relate to Simon and the fisherman because I was doing some research, and back then, the lifestyle had similarities, right? Being a fisherman when Simon was coming up, it was very competitive, right? It was a competitive livelihood. A lot of the people, the fishermen, were vying for the best spots, often bidding for the best spots. Probably did some trickery to get to the best spots, right? They had their own hierarchies, like their own governments, their own structures, going on their own trust, on their own abilities, right? Some held more statuses than others. Net fishing and pole fishing is different. That way. Come on now. Iron sharpening iron right there. Net fishing and pole fishing is different. It hit different, right? Some fishermen they held different statuses than others, right? Some were higher up. Some tried to take advantage of that. So there's a lot of hierarchy and structures in there that's not first seen through the Most High, that's not in order, not in pace. This is what Simon was coming up in as a child, right? It's safe to say that some things probably went on behind the scenes that could get a little scary, right? And he would have been viewed constantly in suspicion because that's how fishermen acted then, right? Because they were one stepped on the other to get up, right? Instead of pulling up hand by hand to pull up, right? But this is what Simon came up in, okay? And this is what I was researching. I'm like, this sounds like a lot like the streets, right? But later, after that, through patience, having her perfect work, right? You teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. Come on now. And Simon changed that, right? And it just took a little while, right? And becoming a rock, a foundational works, right? He was strong in faith and leadership. He just had to be obedient with the pace and thinking with a Yah's eye view. Once he did that, things changed, right? Simon and Simon Peter. I'm on. Now, closing, right? There's some closing words and phrases as I was studying that popped up. Not originally mine, but I'm going to use them, right? When it comes to being the extension or the expansion of protection, of the wall of protection. Right? So the first one. Self-reliance leads to pride and arrogance. AKA building in the wrong areas. Right? Got to look at it from a different perspective. Exactly, Buddha Cole. Exactly. Using stones that look nice, right? Well, self-reliance leads to pride and arrogance, aka building in the wrong areas, right? Using stones that look nice, but break away under pressure and blows of a hammer, right? Which is basically how Joshua was with the Gibeonites. They looked like they played the part, but put some pressure on them, their real true color showed. He didn't give them time. He didn't have time to disagree with them. Like, he took them for their word. Some might say it was trauma bonding, because he was going through things so far. He had war on all sides. You don't think Joshua might not have said it, but in his mind, we have those doubtful thoughts sometimes, right? Moses did, right? A lot of us did. But when that pressure was applied and the true color showed, he saw that they weren't who they said they were. But he didn't have proper pace. That's very important. Joshua should have let pressure of Yah be applied first before he even let them in, right? The next one, rewind to move forward, right? Now imagine the old VHS tapes. Yes, I know about them. And you know how they had, they would skip sometimes. But sometimes if you hit the rewind on it and play it again, it will play through that skip part, right? When they froze, we had to rewind them, and oftentimes they'll play right through the part that skipped and continue to play out. continue to keep moving forward, right? Oftentimes in football, right? Backpedaling like a DB, right? I played some football. I was a DB and a wide receiver, right? For my football people. Yeah, pressure can reset a person. Come on now. Like a DB, they'll backpedal, but to a defensive back, right? That's really moving forward to them. To the wide receiver, it seems like they're moving backwards, but the DB says he's moving forward to where he's supposed to do. He's supposed to defend, right? It just depends on your viewpoint. That's all. The wide receiver sees you moving forward. The DB moves backwards, but the DB is moving forward, playing his part, right? For the interception. Yep, tight end and right. Come on now, you already know. You already know, right? It just depends on the viewpoint. Yeah, reflect, not reject. Right? Reflect. Appraise it. Then see if you need to have it there with you, right? See if it just needs some more time, right? The next one, value rest. Value rest, value rest. Rest is not stopping. Rest is resetting, right? Rest is pace. It's hand in hand with pace. Settling in on what you're picking up, right? What rock or stone you are picking up, right? You got to settle in. You got to rest with that. You got to let it salah, right? That's what salah means. Pause and think about it. That's rest. That's rest. Realizing the potential. Rest with thought. It's okay to tarry. It's okay to tarry. You don't always have to hasten. Tarry a little bit. Tarry a little bit. I think that's the last one. Yeah, letting go of extras. Let go of extras, right? Pacing leaves room for error, right? But it leaves room for error to be seen. Not just yours, but others, right? Pacing leaves room for error to be seen, yours and others. I'm going to say that one more time. Pacing leaves room for error to be seen, yours and others. Remember, wait for disagreement, right? Love them, be there for them, but expect the disagreement. Because pacing leaves room for error to be seen. It just shows you how you need to be there for that person, right? That's all that's showing you. Acknowledge it and progress in the process, right? Being in the moment, but yet working the end. The pace yourself, essentially, all this together, right, is to figure out your salvation by finding your pace. I'm going to say that 2 more times. You figure out your salvation, right? Your own salvation by finding your pace, right? So, yeah, pacing leaves room for all error to be seen, showing where love is needed. I'm on. Figure out your salvation by finding your pace, right? That's all I have. That's all I have. Let's see. Yeah, if anybody wants to come up and say anything first, we'll do that, right? If anybody wants to say anything they glean from that, or I don't know if Pastor Don is still up here. If you got any words you want to throw in there, my sisters, my brothers, anybody wants to come up, that's fine. I'll wait a couple minutes. Well, not a couple minutes, but a few seconds, see if anybody wants to jump up, say what they want to say. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I done poured out everything. I done poured it all out. Where'd that other phone? Where'd that other phone go? I don't play music without that. Look at how all the prophets expired. Are you willing to expire for Yah's work and Yah's time? Exactly. Yeah, come on up, brother. Let me see. Come on up and say what you like, right? Yeah. You got the floor, brother. Pastor Don. Can't wait for tomorrow for you too, brother. Well, I find that phone. What do I do with it?
Shalom, everyone. When you first started, incoming calls came in back to back. Then I had to walk. Then when I got back online, I got kicked out. I got booted out the off the staging area. So I just sat next to Dr. T and the Crystal and them and Minister Shantae. I said I'll just get up later when the Spirit allows me to get up later. So I am here, bro. I'm giving you high fives all the way. You drop mad gems. I'm gonna take them to the pawn shop and see if I get some money for them. Then I'll break you off your percentage for that nice, beautiful word that you did. But I want to talk about that whole refining thing that Peter had to go through. That when Yeshua said that he had to, I understand these comments, that Yeshua said that he wasn't ready to present him the keys yet. Mm-hmm. And that it was some things that he had to go through to receive those keys. Because we know Peter's like a lot of us lived in the flesh. He was, oh my goodness. That man had a mouth like most sailors do it. And I'm a former veteran for United States Navy. And I used to have a tongue. And I remember growing up Southern Baptist too, when my parents was like, boy, you better not. What you just say? I ain't say nothing. You know you a doggone lie. I'm like, huh? What? You know what you said? So then I had to rebuild myself. They knocked me down so I can grow. So they had to refine my tongue because my tongue had to be changed. So they can be like, you know what, you're responsible to handle what we need you for you to handle. And it was a training that we had to go through. You know, playing football, being in this, and basic training. You ever took basic training? You know, you saw the military, you had to be refined because you came from the hood. They took the hood right out of you. I went from hood to be bougie.
Fair trade.
So, but there had to be a refinery that brings forth growth before the Navy can say, I accept you before I give you this top clearance. I need to make sure you ran off the mouth. I need to make sure that you ain't bringing the Bronx, South Bronx in there, into places that we might have to get you out, out of court martial. I'm like, huh, what? So I had to be refined. I had to refine my tongue. Man, I tell you, man, I don't have a TikTok tongue. I tell you, man, them commanders, boy, they will put a brother to work for discipline, for a good refinery to get you right. But then, once you get out, and then you have to live this walk, once you say, oh, I've been called, and I know a lot of us, I don't want to read the comments, but raise your hand, this was you. I ain't ready to do this work. No. There's some things that Yahweh got to work on. Y'all got to work on me. The Most High got to work on me. Raise your hand because y'all guilty, because I'm guilty. We ran like Jonah. Yeah. And paid for our sin and had to be refined in the great fish that the Most High had to present for us. That had to be our refining. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right. Okay, yeah, you got me. So then you get vomited out. Being clean is a dirty business.
Come on now.
Let me say it again. Being clean is a dirty business, and you have to do some refinery. You have to do some growth. You have to be humble. You're going to have to do some forgiving. You're going to have to show some compassion. And Yashua, let me tell you this. We serve a mighty good Most High. We serve him. And we cannot be like Joshua's back in the day. We can't be like that. Just let anybody come in, because people, man, they bringing all kinds of crazy stuff to the camp. You bringing me stale bread. Why you bringing me stale bread? And you lying to me? You know, one thing people can't stand is a Pinocchio. Can I say Pinocchio? Yep. It's a Pinocchio. So, but we have to, in this day and time, Yasharel, that's all my brothers and sheep brothers, we have a work to do. We have all these camps, but there's so many. And we got people leaving the ecclesia to come into truth. And they bringing their craziness just like the gigabytes did.
Yep.
We got to be careful because we have sisters, our children, our sheep brooders and brooders, that they might not be all strong enough to stand against the wiles of the enemy. But we just have to realize we got to stand strong. There's a posture. I like when Brother Jew say, you stay in position so you may get ready to play the position. And it brought me to when you went down to fishing, and I forgot who said this. Net fishing is different from pole fishing. And I was like, you gotta be in a position to cast that rod as far as you can. And you gotta stay in a position to throw that net as far as you can and reap your benefits. Man, we got my peoples. There's a code. We're gonna stand by that code. I just told Bruder Charlie earlier today, when I see him, we're gonna do our handshake. When I see Mr. Steven, we're gonna do our handshake. When I see my sheep brooders and my brooders, we're gonna do a handshake. We're gonna keep it simple. But they're gonna be like, what's this? We refine because we know who is with us and we know who's not with us. We ain't throwing no secrets out. No, we ain't doing no witchcraft, no secrets. We're gonna do a handshake to let people know they're part of us. They're part of us. I don't care if you're an Ish group or in a Purple People group. You know that, you know the hand, you in. But we're gonna be watching you because you gotta be defined too before we allow you to do anything. So, bro, I love you, and tomorrow I'm just gonna run with it on your platform. We're gonna talk about songs. We're gonna do some summary, and we're gonna everybody gonna binge watch tomorrow. Let's binge watch tomorrow.
All right. I'm on. To Big Bruder, to Pastor Don, talking that talk. Yeah, that was Bruder Coleman talking about that was a difference between pole fishing and net fishing, right?
Okay.
I remember that one. But
We'll work that one tomorrow.
yeah, throw that in there. That's it. Iron sharpens iron. That's what did I say? Put it in the to-go plate. We got to-go plates, to-go containers, everything. That's it.
We putting them in styrofoam or we putting them on Chinettes?
Oh, Chinettes, because I need to reheat it sometimes. That's it. I'm quick with it, man. I'm quick with it.
I see. That's you,
Hey, that way. Big Brother Charlie, got anything to say, man, before we pray it out, close it out, play some songs or whatever? Or
this one said, oh my, you telling your position?
I'm in position. You already know.
Let's go.
So I'm finna land me back, right? What you said, don't be so quick to love. So we gotta prove a friend. When somebody show up all the time for you, you hit it hit different. So when you do certain things, we was taught by Moray said you expect certain things. Not that you're wrong for expecting certain things, but so I'm saying all that. And then I'm finna get off of that because Wes gonna get what's understood doesn't have to be explained. And what we always said is one thing, but what we're always doing is another thing. I'm not about what I say, I'm about what I do. You hear me? Mm-hmm. I don't mess with a lot of people, but I lock in with my few. You hear me? That's what it is. You already know how we slumming. Yeah. So we don't switch up. We play our positions. That's it. So real is really rare. So what you said earlier was the rest thing. And all of y'all been telling me, Bruder, rest. Bruder, sit down. Bruder, stop doing too much. Bruder. And I had to listen to that. For once in my life, I had to not be hard-headed. I'm good. I was great at being hard-headed. Yeah. But all of these people caring about you, all of these people praying the way they do, and all you got to do is sit down and not only be obedient to the Most High and let the Ruach lead them. They loving on you. They caring about you. You don't even get that in real life. Real flesh life. With people that's around, so it hit different. So again, I'm excited whatever this is, I don't know. We had to go through some things, but like we always say, if it ain't no test, it ain't no testimony. So, what we doing?
That way.
We yes, that's it. That's all. However, the big we is us. I'm out. I ain't got nothing else to say. Except that word was awesome. And both of y'all, you know what I'm saying? I've been talking to both of y'all all day, all week anyway, so it is what it is. So however, that's it. That's all.
Hey, hava, big brother, hava, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna drop in that solidarity. I'm gonna pray us out, and we're gonna play one song, and then that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. That's all. That's a mention. I saw General Yosef just come in. Hava, big brother. Hava. I'm gonna try to give you a call tomorrow too, man. I know we talked about that Friday thing. We're gonna see. I'm trying to give you a call tomorrow, but yeah, let's pray us out. Let's pray us out. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and yeah, let's pray. Yahweh, we come before you yet again to say Tada Abba for another great fellowship, another great word that you sent for us to edify ourselves and to marinate on and to salat on. We want to say Tada for your perfect works, for everything that goes on in the background as we are protected, as we do study and prepare this dwelling place, and be the extension of your refining wall of fire as we represent who you want us to be in Arat, in earth, as it is in Shamayam, in heaven. And may you be pleased with us, Yah. I pray this was pleasing to you, and as we go about our ways, I pray safety over the Ma'aspache, over our family, and our progression in this walk. May we continue to love appropriately and continue to progress accurately, seeking you first in your ways, so that way we are knowing what we are building with. Tada Abba. We say these things, ask these things, and say Tada for these things as we petition these things. At Sham Yahava, At Sham Yahashpai, At Sham Ravakakodash, Aman, Aman, and Aman. All right, I'm gonna play one song, and then we're gonna be up out of here. Let's play this song. One of my favorites.
Where he gon' get us? It was prophesied was sold by his blood, you gon' rise, you gon' rise. Babylon falling, it all gon' go wrong. Keep them commandments, we tryna go home. Before you serve me, go serve him on that throne. Walk as he walk, I'm a clone. Where he gon' get us? Keep commandments, he gon' fight for. I'ma see out here the light for. Ram on, blow the right note. Almighty, 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 Creator of earth. His blood inside me, inside me, inside me. We know that it works. Almighty, 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 Creator of earth. His blood inside me, inside me, inside me. We know that it works. Almighty, 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 Creator of earth. His blood inside me, inside me, inside me. We know that it works. Almighty, Almighty, Almighty,
Aman. Ahava fam, Ahaba. Tada fam, Tada. Great time today. Until next Thursday, until tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow we got Pastor Don gonna be on here. Ready for a great word from Pastor Don. Great time for fellowship yet again. Love y'all. Ahaba. And until next time, fam, we up out of here. Y'all be peaceful. Y'all be loving. Y'all be grateful. You keep on being you as we refine ourselves. Amen. We are the extension of the refining wall of fire. Remember who you are. Be who you are. We are who we are. We in position, locked in. Shalom, fam. Till next time.